Hey people, so this is our final video on percents. We're going to go over interest, both simple interest and compound interest. Let's start with simple interest. Now, interest is a financing term that describes extra money that somebody is being paid, usually the customer or the bank. All right, in the case of something like a savings account, the bank ends up paying the customer interest. In the case of somebody taking out a loan, let's say you take out a loan from the bank, you're going to end up paying the bank interest. So how do you calculate simple interest? We're going to use this equation. You'll find your interest by multiplying your principal times your rate times the amount of time you have the account. Let's define some terms here. Principal is the original amount that is either borrowed or put into the account. All right. Rate is your percent, and your time is usually in years. It's the amount of time you have the account open. Need that little box to go away. So you may, if you want to find your total balance, you'll find your interest first, and then you'll add your interest to your principal to find your total balance. Let's do a few problems together. So Alicia put $200 into a savings account. The interest rate is 5% per year. What is her balance after 2.5 years? So first, to find the interest, let's plug in what we know. Interest is principal times rate times time. So our principal is $200. That's how much she opened the account with. Her rate is 5%. We're going to change that to a decimal. We do that by dividing it by 100. So that is 0.05. And we're also going to multiply that by the amount of time we have the account open, which that's 2.5 years. All right, so to solve this, just do all your multiplications. So we're going to do 200 times 500 times 2.5. And we're going to get $25. So that's the interest. So your interest comes out to $25. Now to find your balance, you're going to add your interest to your principal. I'm running out of room. 25 plus 200 is going to be $225. Tony took out a loan with his bank for $2,000. The interest rate is 10% per year. How much interest will he owe after 5 years? So for this problem, we are following the same formula. Interest equals principal times rate times time. So our principal is 2,000. Our rate is 10%. When we change that to a decimal, it is 1/10. And the amount of time we have is 5 years. So 2,000 times 1/10 times 5 is $1,000. Now for this problem, that's where we could start, or that's where we could stop. We want to know how much interest he's going to owe. So he's going to owe $1,000. If we wanted to know the total amount he would have to pay back, we could add this 1,000 to this 2,000 to get 3,000. But this is his interest, $1,000. All right. Moving on. We'll look a little bit at compound interest. Compound interest is a little bit more complicated. We use this formula to find compound interest. So the balance equals the principal multiplied by 1 plus the rate raised to the power of your time in years. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So Alex put $500 into an account that earns 6% interest compounded yearly. What will be the account balance after 3 years? So our balance is going to be equal to our principal, which is $500, multiplied by 1 plus our rate, which is 6%, so we're going to change that to a decimal, raised to the power of our time, which is 3. So that's 3 is an exponent. All right, so we're going to follow the order of operations with this one. We have to do what's in parentheses first. So we have to add our 1 and our 600ths to get 1 and 600ths. So our equation is now 500 times 1 and 600ths raised to the third power. So now we have to do our exponents. So we have to raise 1 600ths to the third power. So 1.06 to the third. So that's 1, and let's just round it to 1900ths. So 500 times 1 and 1900ths. So now we just multiply 500 times 1 and 1900ths. 595. So that's our balance. All right. Okay, so that's it for interest. All right, I hope that this video helped.